Hi guys, I'm going to talk about handling key press events and whatnot. So I'm going to open up a new project and I'm going to go into the code, override the on key down event, and use a switch case here. It's best to use a switch case, which is going to be typically more efficient than multiple if-else or if-else statements. And you want to go for efficiency when writing code in key down events or any kind of key event, because they will fire every time a key is pressed when the control has focus. So key code, and we're going to do case keys dot enter. So when the enter key is pressed, we are going to assign it to the form's text property. So key code toString, and then break. So I'm going to press enter, and the key is printed in the form's text. Now let's add a button. Okay, and I'm going to press enter again, and nothing happens because the button has focus. So you can go down to the properties of the form, enable key preview, and try that. But right now, since there's a control in the form that can be clicked with the enter button is going to be kind of reserved in a way. And even if key preview is enabled, the events that you want for the form will not be fired. And typically key preview will allow you to hook to all of the key down events on the controls and handle them in the form. But in our case, we cannot do this. So let's try to find a way around this. We can go and use or handle an event that occurs before on key down, and that's something right here. I think process dialog key will allow us to do that. You can go even deeper and you can do some lower level stuff, but this is what we want for now. We're just going to paste this code into key preview and replace the E argument with key data. And it's not going to have key code. Sorry. That'll do. Now when we press enter, it should work out just fine. There we go. When certain keys get reserved in some way or form and the form processes this key, it's going to say that this key is going to be used for something else and we can't really use it in this context, and it's not going to be sent to the proper event handlers or the events that you want them to. So you can go deeper into the call stack here and implement this at a lower level, and it will work out just fine. But typically you don't want to use reserved keys like this. So you've got the enter key that's going to click buttons that can be clicked that have focus, and then you have the arrow keys left and right to change focus between controls, and you've got some other keys on your keyboard that will be used for interfacing with forms and that will be considered reserved. And the way of getting around this is just using the process dialog key event handler, overriding their event. Okay, let's get back to the key down event. So protected override on key down. So if e.keycode is equal to keys.enter, no, we can't do that. .e and e.control. So we're going to analyze and see if the user has pressed the E button and control, and if they have, then we're just going to write something to the text property of the form. So control E, that works fine. So simple logical AND here. So yeah, you can use the Shift Alt Control properties here to get to see if certain modifiers have been pressed, or you can use modifiers which will get all of the modifier keys pressed, and that will be a bit harder to analyze. But couldn't really find a reason to use that over the booleans here, like shift. You can use e.handled and set handled to true to make sure that certain control states aren't updated according to the user's input. I don't really have a use for this in the form. You would commonly use this with your own text box, so that if you don't want a user to press a certain certain key, then you can just set e handled is equal to true when a certain key is pressed, and then that character won't be submitted to the text box. That's pretty much all I have to say about keys. See you later.